Namaste and welcome again in this second part of the lecture, Natural Living During Acute Disease, under Swatantra Bharat 75 lecture series. Friends, last time we have seen that this universe is made up of Pancha Mahabhuta, so also our body. That is what is known as Prakriti as per Sankhya, Darshan. And the poison accumulation inside the body is the sole reason for all the diseases. Germs, if at all, they are only secondary cause. It is the accumulated poison that makes a favorable situation for germs to grow. And in naturopathy, these very Pancha Mahabhuta, that is Earth, Prithvi, Jala, water, Agni is fire, the Vayu, that is air, and Akash, that is the space. These are the Pancha Mahabhuta, that is the principles, who are invited to detoxify. So by applying soil, for example, applying water in different form, and Akash is less packed things, less calorie, the puffs, etc., or the light food like fruits, vegetables, juices, etc. And at a higher level, it is the fasting. So fasting is superior most modality to detoxify as per this naturopathy. There are, of course, Ayurvedic Panchakarma or the Shuddhi Kriya, Shatkarma in yoga. They are also detoxifying. But in all this, fasting is superior most. Mahatma Gandhi ji used to call this Akash Tattva as Arogya Samrat, because that's the best detoxifying. And unfortunately, after independence, the importance of Mahatma Gandhi ji has restricted to just hang his photos in the government offices and the print photo on the currency. And along with the freedom movement, parallel, Mahatma Gandhi ji preached naturopathy to a great extent, that for a poor country like India, that's the best methodology. And forget about rich and poor. It's the real healing, improving our immunity. This naturopathy is very, very important. Unfortunately, we, under the name of science, we preach today that by fasting, the immunity decreases. So don't fast. On the contrary, naturopathy says exactly other way. It is fasting that will detoxify and boost your immunity. A totally different approach. And whatever I'm discussing, as I said last time also, it is not just theory, the philosophy, just by reading few books here and there. So this is based on the self-experience and experience of others who were in contact with me. So using very Pancha Mahabhuta to detoxify is known as Pancha Mahabhautik Chikitsa, and that is real naturopathy, absolute naturopathy. Of course, nowadays, massaging or say the massage therapy, and along with that, the magnet therapy and the acupressure, acupuncture, they are also being included under naturopathy nowadays. I mean, anything that avoids use of the medicines, chemical medicines, which has huge side effects, is nowadays being termed as naturopathy or alternative medicine. It is said, of course, it's a relative term. With respect to modern medicine, all others are understood as alternative therapies. So whether, not necessary that always they are alternative, they can be mainstream sometimes. So it depends how we look at it. We have seen that it is the accumulated poison that makes a favorable situation for germs to grow. In other words, whenever the poison accumulation reaches a threshold level, body decides by itself, because of the strong immune power inside, the potency inside, potentiality. It invites the germ. It is not that it is attacked by the germ, but the germs are invited to detoxify. That is known as the acute disease. It's a healing crisis, and we should not do anything. We should follow what Mother Nature wants to do. We should not find solution to the solution, but body will have its own way to do it. And especially for one acute disease, cold, common cold, we have seen how exactly this healing crisis is and what is the science behind that. So it is same science. Science is one, whether it is Ayurveda or homeopathy or the naturopathy or the modern medicine. Science is one. Just as we say, Ekam Satyupraha Bahuda Vadanti, the Upanishad said, God is one. It might be named differently. And there are different worship methodologies. So just like that, the real science is one, what you call Satyam Shivam Sundaram. So truth is science and science is truth. Truth is God, as Mahatma Gandhi used to say. And so it's a question of just application and interpretation that differs in different branches of these, treatment methodologies. That's all. That's the only difference. And so we have seen regarding the common cold last time, and now we try to discuss about even more such acute disorders. Fever, fever is at another important acute disease. Many times cold leads to fever. Sometimes cold doesn't lead to fever as such. Or sometimes without cold, there might be fever. So there are different types of fevers. Fever, I mean, like malaria, etc. Dengue. It is not cold related, or even typhoid for that matter. It's an infection of the intestinal mucosal membrane. So there are different types of fevers. And let us understand in a naturopathic point of view. In modern science, we are told that, fever is not good, how it will destroy, it will have bad effect on the liver, it will have bad effect on the kidney, and it should be suppressed by the antipyretics. It should be brought down to normal, But we very well know that even that same antipyretic or antibiotics, is it not harmful or has got some side effect over the liver or kidney? That is one part. And in more correct way, let us understand this. Fever is an increased temperature. The human body temperature is about 98.5 degrees Fahrenheit or some, let us say 37 degrees centigrade. And body tries to maintain that. There are so many parameters in the body: blood glucose, blood pressure, the pH, acid-alkali balance of the body, temperature of the body. So these are the important parameters. And there is a term homeostasis, to maintain the internal environment or to maintain all the parameters within the normal range is homeostasis. And that is the potency of the health. That is the health maintenance efficiency of the body. Right from minus 48 degrees centigrade in the ice, in Kargil-like area, Himalayan area, up to plus 48 degrees centigrade in hot summer in some of the region, dry climate, areas. In spite of atmospheric temperature being minus 48 degrees centigrade to plus 48 degrees centigrade, body has got tremendous, inbuilt knowledge, wisdom to maintain the temperature constant around 37 degrees centigrade, which is equal to 98.5 degrees Fahrenheit. What a great instrument this body is, isn't it? And there are cold-blooded animals like snake, etc. Their body temperature increases as per the atmospheric temperature and decreases again as per atmospheric temperature. That's why frog, etc. go for a winter hibernation and the summer hibernation, because the basic physiological activities cease to function in such a drastic temperature. But the birds and the mammals, for example, which are known as the homeothermal, others are known as heterothermal, that is another warm-blooded animals. What is known as human is a warm-blooded animal. It means that it tries to maintain the body temperature constant in spite of the atmospheric temperature. Body has got that immense intelligence. Now the question comes, whenever there is fever, the body temperature is allowed to go high, 100 degree Fahrenheit, 101, 102 degree Fahrenheit. And up to 102 degree Fahrenheit, the immunity is at its peak. So having fever is not bad, if at all we have misunderstood. In certain situation only, not otherwise. Body knows quite well to maintain constant body temperature, 98.5 degree Fahrenheit. But whenever there is some unfavorable situation, body takes its own decision. The basic philosophy of naturopathy is that it believes in Mother Nature. It believes in potentiality of the body. Don't interfere. Don't think you are intelligent than the Mother Nature itself. You are wiser than the Mother Nature itself. So this is the basic philosophy. Trust the tremendous potentiality in the Mother Nature, in the body. That's the basic philosophy of naturopathy. So here, up to 102 degree centigrade, body allows to shoot the temperature. There is some intention behind it. Please believe in that. Trust in that. Because at 102 degree Fahrenheit, immunity is at peak higher. So whenever required, body takes that decision. And we should respect that and accept that. We should not suppress it. That's the philosophy. Now, I will give you an example why this bit fever is good. For example, whenever there is cricket, one-day cricket in between, say, India and Pakistan, then 2 days prior only, all the media start increasing fever. There is a fever of cricket throughout the country and all that they describe. What does it mean? The intensity of the patriotism slightly increases whenever there is a cricket match between India and Pakistan. Very important question. To have an increased patriotism is bad. If at all it is not bad, then how come the increased temperature is bad? So they say the cricket fever. So this is the body fever temperature. So there is some intention, as I said, at 102 degree Fahrenheit, the immunity is at highest, is at peak. So whenever required, body takes the decision. So we to interfere. We are who to interpret it wrongly, other way. Again, as we have seen, wherever there is poison accumulation, in order to detoxify, this is happening. It's one of the acute disease. It's for wellness of us. It's a healing crisis. It's to detoxify. So same principle, again, we have to understand here. So since we take rest and fast, this is my personal experience. Never fever goes beyond 102 degree Fahrenheit. And whenever we do other way, that is generally we, suppress it by taking medicine. And for taking medicine, we have to eat food. So we ingest something, we take medicine, we suppress, and then obviously it happens other way, as you have seen. The body's intention behind giving the acute disease is to detoxify. But by this modality, we are suppressing the detoxification and adding to the toxicity by dumping medicine, number one, and by dumping food when body is not prepared to digest, so that food is converted, not getting digested. So obviously it is getting converted to poison, toxin. That's what we have seen. And my own experience from 1990 to 2000, I am at Navi Mumbai. And so a lot of development, civil development, construction was going on. And those days, whenever I had got some influenza, flu, etc., I used to follow naturopathy. I used to fast and rest for a couple of days, and I used to get okay without any medicine. But for falciparum malaria, I didn't dare to go for that. I used to take the conventional, chloroquine and such treatment. And I found fever used to shoot up to 104 degree Fahrenheit, 105 degree Fahrenheit. And it to relax after 2 months, 4 months, 1 year. So from 1990 to 2000, some 10, 12 times total malaria relaxed. And in 2001, when last I got falciparum malaria, and after that today is 2023. So since last almost 22 years, there was no relapse of falciparum malaria after practicing naturopathy, getting treated that falciparum malaria through this naturopathy principle rather than any medicine. Two days I fasted only on water. And perhaps I would have fasted for longer times also, but at that time I was not having that confidence. In 2008 in ashram, I experienced 21 days long fasting only on water. Dr. Dean Ornish, the American naturopath, has claimed first week fasting detoxifies all the kapha vikar, kapha related. 2 weeks fasting detoxifies the pitta vikar related to pitta. And 3 weeks fasting detoxifies the principal, the culprits concerned with the vata vikar, that is joint movement. And he said 21 days fasting, 3 weeks fasting is a complete fasting. And I experienced that on 20th day, my pulse was not traceable. So my naturopath was advising me that you may, stop this fasting. But I had decided that I will complete that so-called 21 days fasting. So then, okay, on our willpower, you can, lengthen it. And so I completed that 21 days fasting. So fasting is very much important in the naturopathic philosophy and practice. And especially whenever there is an acute disease like cold, fever, loose motion, etc., or any problem in naturopathy, go for a fast. That is the first modality. Even other diseases, some appendix and some other so many issues, of course. Let us restrict to acute diseases in this lecture. So 2 days I fasted at that time. And therefore another 13 days, so totally 15 days I'm talking about. Not a single cooked grain was ingested. Restricted only for so-called Shuddhi Ahar, the purifying food, what you call. Fasting is peak of detoxification, purification. But if that is not possible, okay, you can restrict to this raw vegetable juices, fruit juices, tender coconut, water, or say the sugarcane juice. All these are raw, natural, without any processing, not cooked food or processed food. So that's the difference. Cooked food leads to cooked and processed. More processed, it dumps more and more poison. And this natural food, that's a detoxifying. That's alkaligenic. That's rich in vitamins, minerals, antioxidant, very, very important, most healing aspect. Even cancers are cured because of antioxidant. And we get the cancer because of the free radical. So that's a molecular level. Modern science has accepted it. It's the research says. Anyway. So for next 13 days, not a single cooked grain and only this purification food was taken by me. And along with that, right from the fasting day, it was basil, that is tulsi, ginger, and black pepper, miri, isko bolte hain, extract, kada. As let me refer back. In case of cold related, cough related, we should go for only basil and ginger extract and not the black pepper. But in case of dengue, malaria, such disorders which are not related to the cough, this is important. And with this reference, I remembered Kaka Saheb Kalelkar was a literaturist in both Gujarati and Marathi, and he was a cabinet minister in Pandit Nehru's cabinet. He was Gandhian, so he used to follow right from that freedom movement, as I said, that Mahatma Gandhi ji preached naturopathy, and so he was a follower, and he got typhoid. Typhoid is a bacterial infection of the intestinal flora as per modern science, as you know. And he fasted only on water for 15 days and he got cured out of typhoid. So my experience, same way regarding this falciparum malaria. So when the only fasting was done, this extract was taken, and then for another 13 days, the cooked food was avoided and only this purifying food, juices. On 8th day, my WBC count was only 2,500 against 7,500 usually. And hemoglobin was only 8.5% against some 14% generally. So it shows us with every fever used to remain for some 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, and used to go. And every that fever episode, 1% of hemoglobin is to go down. Because that this is well-known science, what happens inside. On 9th day, to my surprise, the hemoglobin was 9.5% and the WBC count 3,100. And then slowly, gradually, in 4 months period, both came to normal. What a tremendous potentiality the body has inside. Really, I turned, emotional on that day by looking at the love and gratitude towards the mother nature, towards our body. So unless we tap, body can't respond. Whenever we fever, we take some, antipyretic, some suppression. Or whenever there is malaria, it is proved by the test, we take the chloroquine and whatnot. Then how can there be scope for the body to, show its inner potentiality, hidden potentiality? So whenever we suppress in acute diseases like this, our immunity goes down. And more you use such antibiotics, etc., the immunity of germs increases. And that's why the greatest challenge in the modern medicine also is not the germs, but the antibiotics itself. So the antibiotics which used to kill the tuberculosis bacteria, now they are no more able to. The more resistant varieties of the germs and the viruses, they are getting born. We have seen in COVID also, so many mutants, some 6 to 8 mutants throughout the globe. And this will continue. And vaccination can't be the ultimate answer to this. Newer and newer germs and viruses are going to mutate, are going to take birth. So what is the end to the vaccination? On the contrary, great Mother Nature has provided with tremendous, it's a dynamic vaccination, not fixed vaccination. Body has got that intelligence. Why we are not using that, isn't it? So slowly, as I said, the disease got cured. And then, which used to relapse after taking the conventional, allopathic medicine, chloroquine, etc., it used to relapse again and again. But now, after following this, it never, since last 22 years. And what is the explanation for this? Supposing some enemy nation attacks my nation, on my own defense, I should defend it. But supposing I had to take help of some other big nation, then that obviously I will lose my sovereignty once for all. I will be under the pressure of that nation. I will lose my sovereignty. Same thing is applicable so far our body is concerned, our immunity is concerned. Whenever there is so-called attack by the germs, naturopathy doesn't say it is attack, rather it is invited healing crisis. So on my own, I should face it. I should allow body to detoxify. And whenever supposing my immunity is there to take care. Okay, to detoxify as well as to get rid of those germs if at all they do something unfavorable to my body. Let me surrender. Let my body has got tremendous potentiality. Let it look after that. I should stop the nonsenses, that's all. The bad interferences, the bad food. Unfortunately, when the taste is not there, what do we do? Okay, let me have some tea, coffee and biscuit or toast or curry. All these are acid dumping food, unfortunately. So instead of detoxifying, we are dumping the acidogenic or the poisonous food. And then we are breeding the disease. We are favoring the disease and not curing. So it's our faults. Anyway, when without suppression, without interference of any medicine, fasting or the purification food, without dumping wrong food, we get detoxified, we get healed, we get cured. Then permanently our immunity is boosted like anything. And then we do not get that disease again and again. That's why since the last 22 years, malaria has not relapsed in my case, which used to relapse some 10 to 12 times in one decade, as I said, from 1990 to 2000. Another experience is COVID-19. So right when it started doing havoc in China and Italy, European countries. Within my friend circle, I used to circulate. Same principle, this. I got strong belief over this. And in April 2021, that was a very bad wave, Delta wave in India. The maximum people died in this phase. In April 21, all our family members got this COVID-19. And we fasted for 2 days. Actually, we would have fasted for longer, but till fever is there. For 6 to 7 days, fever was there in the body, more or less. But we could not continue fasting because nobody was there to help. So that was the very bad situation of the epidemic, pandemic and the lockdown, etc. So nobody to help. And so after 3rd day, we restricted to only liquid diets. Only liquid diets. 6th day, 7th day, slowly the fever vanished. And there was some throat pain. And then there was some bit cough, bit heaviness in the chest. But I was not afraid. Because I had stopped looking the TV news few months prior to that. I will tell you what happened in the entire, some more than 70 lakh people died out of COVID-19 across the globe. It is because fear, aspect. Science has proved whenever there is fear, anxiety, the immunity goes down like anything. And as we have seen, the basic philosophy, basic principle of naturopathy, body want to detoxify, and we are suppressing it by dumping the antibiotics and whatnot. And because of those complications, people died. And food, proper guidance line was not there. So wrong food people used to ingest, as I described. And that's the reason why people died. And not only that, the official figures talk about only how much people died. What happens now after 2 years, after 3 years, because of the side effect of the medicine? antibiotics and steroids, the lung capacity had decreased. And even today, patients are dying. And those figures can't go on the official record, unfortunately. So, without any complication, all of us got cured because of this regime. But we avoided or any cough related, fever or cold as such. It is cough related. We should avoid some of the cough related foods like milk, curds, buttermilk, tomato, cucumber, fruits like banana, melons, guava, and sitafal. And preference should be given for the citrus fruits, lemon, orange, sweet lemon, that is Mosambi, pomegranate. They are highly, very beneficial. And of course, the pitta karak fruit, what you call the hot papita, for example, papaya, or dates, or even jackfruit. These are okay. But the cough karak should be avoided. So we followed that. And I told about that tea, coffee, toast, bread, biscuit. As I said, people consume it because they can't have food, but that is wrong. If you can't have food, it means that Mother Nature don't want you to take food. Mother Nature wants you to fast, then fast. So fast and rest is the best medicine. And at the most, we can have some extract like this, as I stated, or at the most, the purification foods, but never the wrong food, what we generally take to increase the acid inside. Now, another acute disease is loose motion. It means there is a poison accumulation inside and body want to throw it out. Simple. Understand the code language of Mother Nature. Then why do you want to suppress? If body want to throw the poison out, please don't suppress. Simple principle. Now, man being an intellectual animal, we may help Mother Nature to do this motive, to this drive. So that is drinking salt water. So whenever we have got loose motion, we should drink 10-12 glasses of salt water. It has got a purgative action. So within next 1.5 hours. So in Hindi we say, na rahega baans, na bajegi basuri. The very root cause has withered away. So no symptom. So there won't be any colic pain, no loose motion after 2 hours. And you take full day rest and fast. And in the night, if you feel like, you may have some fruits or some vegetable juice or vegetable soup. It depends. Now for diabetic patient, one can't fast, longer. So it depends on the situation. And that will help to reduce fat in the belly also, because that's a reason for many disorders, as you already know. But in this loose motion, if you suppress, then the poison is not going out. We can drink just warm water throughout the day. Now, what happens the other way? We take medicine to suppress, number one. Medicines can't be consumed on empty stomach, so we happen to eat some fruit. And then, unfortunately, from morning till evening, we go to toilet, loose motion, some 10 times, 15 times. And because of that, the entire mineral are going down. And so we feel very weak, so fatigue. We say, oh, there is no energy. How energy is not there? Lot of stored fat is there, calories is there. It is mineral that is lacking. The calcium, sodium, potassium, chloride, these electrolytes have a very vital role in the basic function of the nerves and the muscles. So that's the reason of fatigue, tiredness or weakness. So if you consume salt water and drain it completely within next 1.5 hours or 2 hours, and then no more visiting toilet block, then no question of all this fatigueness. You are very light, feeling light and fresh and energetic. That's a the self experiences. So whenever there is loose motion, don't suppress it. Have some salt water, drain it completely, and then fast for that day if you can. Otherwise, you may break the fast in the evening with very light, don't any heavy food at that time, because your body is not yet, equipped to go for heavy food to digest. Give it rest. Rest itself is a medicine. That's why Langhanam Paramaushadhi. Fasting is the superior most medicine. That's what the Sanskrit literature says. Whenever we got such loose motion, we suppress it by medicine. Then after 1 month or 2 months, again one day we get loose motion, again we suppress it. So body is tired of it, fed up of it. And it says, oh, come on, let me detoxify by creating some emergency exit. So the natural exit body has provided, we are not using, or we are not allowing to get operated. Then in such cases, body creates an emergency gate that is known as boil. And we get boiled at such a place that we can't tell others also. It's very, discomfortable. There also, unfortunately, we sometimes cut it. So that should not be done. Don't deal with it. Don't disturb. Only thing, see that it is not getting pressed. No trauma should be there. Take care of that. Boil. It is hard, means the poison is stored to exit. And nature on to create an emergency exit through this boil. So at the most, you can have the castor oil soaking over it, so that faster it will detoxify, faster it will turn softer from the harder. Then a tip is created, white color at its own, and it breaks at its own. Sometimes you may apply with soap, but not necessary. Let it happen. Let it mature and rupture naturally. And then let it completely ooze out its own. You may slightly press if you want. It's painful, I can understand. So that is the way. If you do not suppress loose motion, I bet one won't get the boil at all. It is because the natural gate is closed, such emergency exits are created. And even one step prior to that, if you follow a proper lifestyle, no need of loose motion also. If there is no poison beyond a certain limit, why we should get such acute disease like loose motion at all? It's so simple. It is not just theory. Again, I'm telling you, it's based on my own experience. Similarly, other acute disorders we can discuss as spasm. We have got something like, say, cervical spondylosis or lumbar spondylosis in such cases, or without any such structural disorders. When we do some action beyond our capacity, we get a poison. And then there is advertise, who stays at your home? Back pain or move? Something like that. So, because there is back pain, there is medicine. So it's not that because of medicine, the back pain has gone. It's not like that. If I do not have back pain, why should I purchase the medicine at all? So simple logic. Anyway, pain is a boon, in fact. It's a surprise. If pain would not have been given, we would have done all those things which would have further worsened the situation. So that's why pain is a boon. It's again a code language of Mother Nature. Oh, don't do this for this time interval, this period. Let me heal. So simple, code language. And so there are antagonistic muscles which we call bicep and tricep. When one contracts, another stretches. But when coming to the spinal joint, they are very complicated. There are some more than 400, almost more than 2/3 total body muscle mass in and around the spine. There are 26 movable joints in 33 vertebrae. So roughly, if you calculate mathematics, 400 divided by 26, it comes to something like 16 point something. So, in a nutshell, with every muscle in a spinal joint, there are some 16 to 17 antagonistic muscles. When this is contracted, this needs to be stretched. And when this contract, this needs to be stretched. That automatically happens. It's a software program of Mother Nature. Reflex action or pick up. But so far spinal joints are concerned, it is very complicated because every muscle, there can be 16, 17 more antagonistic muscle. They need to be stretched. Now, what is spasm actually? Whenever there is spondylosis, or even if there is no structural aspect of spondylosis of slip disc, but because of the wrong use, overuse of the muscle, suddenly a muscle goes to over contraction. Contraction, elastic, stretching, contraction, stretching, contraction, stretching. This is very peculiar property of muscle. Muscle is a very peculiar evolved tissue or cell. Now, if over contracts, then it can't stretch. It is not available to stretch. And whenever some other muscle contracts, wherein this muscle would have stretched, now it is not available, so it is paining. So that's what this sprain or spasm is. Now tell me, what you have to do? You have to give rest. Because that muscle has got over contracted, then give rest so that by nature itself, in the least period, least number of hours or days, it will come back to normal relaxation. If at all you are an intellectual animal, assist it by giving warm fomentation every, thrice a day, about some 10 minutes. Previously, they used to give by squeezing the hot water, but nowadays some electric pads are also available. Whatever, instrument available, you make use of that. So that will relax. Or magnet, generally it is said, the south pole is to be touched to that such spasm painful area, and north pole against the right, below the right palm or the right foot. And again, insulation should be there. The magnetotherapy has got its own principles, they are to be followed. It should not be direct earthing. Okay. And then we should not sit on the wooden, the metal chair, especially iron chair, but it's the wooden chair. Plastic will do, any insulating media. And then that makes that muscle to relax earliest. I will give an example. Supposing a rabbit has entered in a bush and you have seen it and you are standing there. You want that rabbit will come out. How can till you are standing there, it can't come out. You go and then it will relax slowly, it will come out. Just like that. If the muscle has got over contraction, it pains because body wants you not to use it. That's why it is paining. That's why I said pain is a boon. And so since you are not using it, you are relaxing completely. At the most, you are applying hot, warm fomentation or using the magnet at the most. Not necessary. Even this, just follow the nature, it will relax by itself. Within 2 days, 3 days, you are okay. But you are taking a painkiller and now the pain is blocked. Hence, you are doing the movement which is not you supposed to. So, the muscle which has relaxed within 2 to 3 days, it takes 8 days, 10 days, 15 days. So, this is the wrong methodology in short. Similarly, disease like jaundice. So, it is said the intestinal flora and liver mucosal membrane, they are very fast healing. Very fast healing. So just fast. Fasting is the best medicine. So just fast for 2 days, 3 days. Jaundice will cure at its own. Similarly, dengue. Just like malaria, same thing. Again, resting completely, taking the extract of basil, ginger, and black pepper, as I said. And then, whenever you consume, suppose 2 days you have fasted, and then for another 8, 10 days, you don't have to fast. If somebody is prepared for that, okay, but it's not that easy. It requires a lot of mental preparation. So, after 2 days fasting, one can go for the purifying diet, as I said, Shuddhi Ahar. So you go for, and more preference for the papaya and the tender papaya leaves juice. What people do, they take food, wrong food, and medicine to suppress, and then they go for the coconut, this thing, papaya, tender leaves juice, then it's of not much effect. On the contrary, first you fast and then go for only that papaya fruit and papaya leaves, or you along with that you can go for other, as I said, fruits and the vegetable juices, etc. And for malaria and jaundice, all time there is no restriction of avoiding the cool or the cough creating fruits like banana, etc. For this, all fruits are okay, but only for the cold and cough related, you should not. And avoid that and go for more of a citrus there. And you have to do Vamanadhavati, vomiting, and Sitkram, Vikram or Jalaneti, cleansing the nasal passage, respiratory tract, Kapalabhati, they are highly, highly useful. Then Suri Bhedan is a good pranayama when there is cough. Brahmari, very good. Nowadays, there are a lot of research in COVID pandemic also that the Brahmari ratio or Onkar, they make the mucosal membrane to synthesize nitric oxide in high quality, and that decreases the viral load. That's what the research is done. So it's at all level. All these Onkar, Brahmari, they relax mind also. The mind is important. We can give suggestions. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I accept the situations around me as they are. My immunity is slowly boosting. Like that, you can give the affirmative meditative instructions, and that does a miracle. So all this put together, they actually help to heal. So nothing to worry about all these different so-called acute disorders. So regarding jaundice, as I said, avoiding the junk food or the usual conventional cooked food, but restricting to purifying food, detoxifying food like fruits and the coconut, tender coconut water, or the other fruits, raw vegetable juices or soups, and more priority for the papaya fruit as well as the papaya tender leaves juice. And there is again experience that people got, got rid of it. When there are complications, then the platelet count goes down. But if you follow this natural regime, the platelets count doesn't go down. And most important is mind. You should not get afraid. You should not lose your confidence. Oh, I have not gone for the medicine, so it may turn. No, nothing like that. You should have a strong belief on the naturopathic trust, because that is truth. That is truth. Whatever we are discussing, it's a science basically. Okay. And so, unfortunately, it is not being exhibited by majority mob, and that's the problem. Those who have exhibited, they got the results. So simple. Hence, in all these acute conditions, if you follow this, and more than that, what we call the prevention is better than cure. If you follow proper ahar, vihar, nidra, proper lifestyle, not only acute disease, it will, because naturopathy is a holistic integrated science. It doesn't treat diseases, it treats disease. So there is no disease treatment here. There is no symptom suppression here, but have such a lifestyle that the poison accumulation, formation will be limited, and physically as well as mentally will be healthy. So thank you so much, and wish you all the best to follow such a wonderful, regime of health. Jai Hind. Many times people ask, what about kids? So simple logic. Till the child is there, fetus is there in the womb of mother, it is protected. And as it comes out in this earth, so it is exposed to the different germs. There are two types of immunities. One is innate or inborn immunity. Another is acquired immunity. So innate immunity is there as per their genes. Certain species are, resistant for certain diseases, as you already know. But most of the immunity is acquired. Unless it faces a particular type of germ or virus, it doesn't develop. And so it's very natural that as the child comes out of the mother womb, it's getting exposed to so many varieties of viruses and germs. And as and when it getting exposed to that, that particular immunity is acquired. And so it is very much necessary compared to the adults who might be getting, fever some once in a year or once in a 1.5 year. It's fine. But so far the children are concerned, small kids, they are getting fever again and again, every 2 months, every 4 months. Nothing to worry about. It is just natural because the attack of different, viruses and germs, they have to develop different kinds of immunities. And so nothing to worry about that. So not to, suppress the fever by using some antipyretic syrup and all that. Nothing to worry about. And as I said, up to 102 degrees Fahrenheit, the fever is always safe. Don't do anything. But by chance, unfortunately, if it crosses beyond that, then one is the wet cloth, put it over the forehead. Or sometimes the chandan is also used, sandalwood, paste. That may not be that easily available nowadays. But still, it doesn't come down. Then have a bigger water-soaked, just tap water, okay? Not water from the fridge, just normal water. So you keep it on the belly. The temperature will go down. Very extreme cases, the mud pack over the belly is employed, but it's not that easy to all of a sudden we will get that mud pack ready. So that is sufficient. The wet cloth is sufficient to be used for the emergency, but otherwise no need, because whenever the temperature increases, as we discussed, that body has got tremendous wisdom and potentiality to maintain the body temperature constant, 98.5 degrees Fahrenheit, irrespective of the outer temperature. And now, if at all, in a particular day, body has taken decision to allow the temperature to shoot some 100, 101, 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Believe, trust in the tremendous potentiality, intelligence of the body, that there might be some reason. Some of the reasons are known to modern science today. There might be known and unknown reasons. We don't know. So, whatever reason, but there might be some reason for which the body has increased the temperature. Allow, don't interfere. Allow the body to go in its own way. So, that's what it is. So, nothing to worry about. Even in case of children, nothing to worry about that.